Welcome, guys, to another episode of Costa Rican Vacations Live. This is our 5th episode. I'm sorry we missed you last week, but we're back. Today, with myself, Adam Baker, is my guest, Anastasia McCulloch. Anastasia, how's it going?
Hi, everybody. Nice. It's good to be here with you.
It's great to be chatting with you again.
To see you guys.
Fantastic. Yeah. As ever, guys, today's going to be a great show. We're going to go through the headlines. We're going to do the deal of the day. Anastasia's going to give us our top 3. We'll have to wait for that, as well as a deep dive to Instagram and, of course, tasty Tico treats. But let's get started. And don't forget, before I mention that, please get your questions into us as well, and we'll be getting to those very shortly. Costa Rica headlines. In terms of the opening, Costa Rica is still continuing with its opening plan. All hotels and restaurants are open at 50%, including the weekends, and I believe on June the 21st, everything starts to continue to open.
Yes, like right? Bars and restaurants and schools and pools and all
that. Exactly. So, it's looking really good. We're feeling positive. Anna, tell me about your optimism for the border actually opening on July the 1st.
So I am definitely cup half full on this one. I think that they will open. The fact that they didn't say anything yesterday about extending the border closure, I'm really hopeful that they will still open up on July 1st. My parents have flights down here on July 9th.
Oh, they do? Oh, okay,
good. So they're coming down, and I'm like, come on, baby, please open that border. So
awesome.
And I know that they are doing a lot in terms of getting the airport ready.
Yeah.
And they've got this new app that you're going to have to register, with a little bit of health information before you arrive. So they're at least starting to roll out something of a plan of how they're going to start, implementing all of these new safety measures. So that's a great sign.
Excellent. Well, on that exact subject, a lot of people were asking us in the last couple of weeks, is there quarantine period for arrivals? So are your parents having to be in quarantine for 2 weeks? Or
right now, that's what's on the website until June 30th. But we're going to see what happens. I don't know. I don't know. We're just going to see what they recommend.
Okay.
If they are meant to quarantine, obviously they'll quarantine with us.
Sure.
But yeah, I think it's just about personal responsibility at this point too. About just washing your hands, wear your mask
safety
when you're
measures.
on the plane.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
I hear that's going to be a compulsory thing for a lot of travel. It is coming out of Europe. Safety masks, public transport.
I think people are just so ready to get on the move again that they're willing to do whatever is necessary to stay healthy while being on the move.
And out of interest, can I ask, where are your parents flying from and with which airline?
So they are coming from North Carolina and they're flying on Delta.
Okay.
I am a Delta girl since way back. I think that they have always done a really good job. Planes are always clean. I know that they're taking huge measures to do the spraying of all the planes. They remove the middle seat.
Yeah.
They are making you wear masks. Everything is paperless, your little check-in on your phone.
Nice.
I don't think they have food service going on right now. So they're taking measures, and I thought that they responded pretty well to this whole thing.
It's going to be an interesting period of travel, right, going forward. It's going to be a very healthy and safe way. I mean, the contamination is going to be really low. I don't think this is going to stop anytime soon.
Well, and I think it's oddly, it's one of the safest times to travel because there aren't a lot of people traveling. So I know that I'm going to be going up to the States as soon as I can to visit them and bring my little baby up there.
I'm in the same boat. I'm hoping to see my family as soon as possible in the UK once it's safe to travel back. That's fantastic news. That's great news about your parents. I know a lot of people have been asking us in the last few weeks, I'm coming in the middle of July. Yeah. Do I rebook? What's the plan? Can I fly? We've got some questions coming in. Keira Gonzalez, hello, you're watching. Nice to see you. Danielle Solinsky's asking questions. As ever, Pablo is working behind the scenes to get your questions to me. And I'm going to pass them to Anastasia, and we'll be answering those very, very shortly. Anastasia, in terms of congratulations and offer for those who don't know, you're a relatively new mum.
Yeah.
What's that been like for the last 3 months now?
Yeah. So Leo, my son, is 9 months old. He just turned 9 months, and I think really being a new mom is hard in the good times and in the bad times, and so it's been difficult. We're blessed to have a lot of my husband's family down here who in theory are so happy to help with him, and we couldn't see them for several months.
Sure.
and he actually has his great-grandparents are alive, and so they get to spend time with him.
Nice.
He even has a great-great-grandfather alive, but we
Wow.
haven't been able to see him yet either, yeah.
And that's Giancarlo. Yeah.
That's on Giancarlo.
Giancarlo, if you're
yes.
watching,
Uh-huh.
you're doing good.
That's his family. And so it's been tough, but obviously with our industry going through kind of a flux,
Yeah.
some added stress there.
Of course.
Figuring out this whole work from home with an infant thing has been challenging, but I kind of feel like, if we can get through this,
Yeah.
the rest of it's going to be much easier.
It must be nice as an experienced travel consultant to really have the same empathy that many other parents, especially back in the States and North America, are going through. So that now you're exactly on the same way.
And my clients, when I'm on the phone, if they hear him in the back, they're like, "No worries, I completely understand.
Exactly.
I completely understand." And they have a lot of the same things going on because they're all working from home and doing the Zoom meetings. And
Sure.
The kids doing classes from home. I am glad that he's so young that we're not having to do school from home.
Yeah.
I know my brother and his family, they have 4 children, and that's been quite the adjustment to be doing. I can imagine,
especially with 4 kids. My younger sister has 3 kids, and she's in the same situation. One of them is a baby as well. It's tough.
And it's sad that they've, a lot of people had to miss their graduations and their proms and all of those things. So I know it's been tough on every family with kids of every age at this point.
Speaking of, tough situations around Costa Rica, the tourist community, they're obviously suffering, especially lots of the beach towns, the rural tourist towns where tourism is such an important asset of daily life for many Costa Ricans. Right. Some people talk up to 10% of the population. 500,000 people, a lot of them have been displaced. There's not a lot of money, there's no jobs. Right. Can you explain a bit to me about the communities, what they're going through, and also the people that are coming together
Absolutely.
to try and help?
So we went from, March is super high season, right? So things were flowing, money was flowing, tours were happening, hotels were full, and then it went to nothing, right? Like ghost town within a few days.
They call it season 0, right?
Season 0, right. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of these people, they were starting, luckily they had a couple weeks or 2 months of high season to start getting something together to save, because usually high season maintains them through the low season, right? Yeah. But at this point in time, things are starting to run out. I know that a lot of the communities are coming together with really grassroots kind of community efforts to start gathering food. One in particular that I'm close to is Recycle Hermosa with Pamela. She is doing a fantastic job, and they get I think they have maybe raised $25,000, and they feed around 100 families every 2 weeks.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You can check them out on Facebook as well.
Yes, you can check
Playa
them out.
Hermosa is a small beach town in Guanacaste, in the north of the country.
Mm-hmm. Another one is Visit Cahuita, which is out on our Caribbean coast. Cameron Guthrie is the one who's in charge of that. Nice. They've been doing loads of work gathering food. They're even gathering dog food for people to take care to help take care of dogs. Yeah, I know. It's things that you don't necessarily really think about. But communities are definitely coming together. And schools also. I know that some churches that have funding that comes from the U.S. Also, they've been trying to do some extra work and really come together for people. But another one that I've heard of that I'm interested in learning more about is Colors Across Costa Rica. Okay. I've heard of that. They're trying to start something that they did in the States, I want to say back in the 40s or 50s, where they really just got communities to start doing work for the donated food. So they would do work on buildings or on playgrounds or, painting old buildings that need work in town. Yeah. And so by doing that work, then they get the food donations. So it's just it's work that needs to be done anyways. Sure, it's a really nice, these places that you mentioned, it's a really nice mix of expats as well as community members coming together, locals, Costa Ricans. Absolutely. There's always been food banks in Costa Rica, with certain areas that need it. And now, especially when they're coming in these tourist towns that never had them before, it's nice to see that they're really moving together in unity, as you say. Mm-hmm. But
it's difficult when the border's still closed. We don't have that assurance yet.
I wish there would be some sort of certainty.
Yeah.
I know that would really relieve a lot of the anxiety that's going on, because with that anxiety, people are more likely to hold on tight to what they have.
Yeah.
And that's what brings the economy to a halt.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to sort of revitalize local tourism for
sure.
now, which I did see a lot of people on the road. I went out to Cocoa Beach last week with my family. Finally got out of the city. That was really nice.
Must have been nice feeling, yeah.
Yes, it was very nice. And I saw, we stopped at a roadside restaurant, and there were people there, so that was good to see. And they had all the proper, the face protectors,
everywhere,
and alcohol
as
gel
well.
and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think people are taking it seriously, and also just trying to do whatever they can to kickstart things. Because the country's beautiful right now.
Sure.
I don't know if
I know it's that the rains have really come in. April and May.
Is just fantastically green and lush, and the waterfalls are pumping, and I imagine that after not having so many tourists, I'm sure that the wildlife is like extra spectacular.
You say that, and as you know, my place is here in just outside the centre, in the suburb of Costa Rica, and we're seeing some amazing rain showers in the afternoon. Hummingbirds are coming around the outside. These new species. There's a gorge with a river, and I'm like, I swear, parakeets. It's incredible.
Yeah,
and that's here in the capital.
In the city, right?
Yeah, no, it's definitely looking good. In terms of your travel consultant experience, I've been hearing rumours people are trying to still book vacations for right now. Who are you speaking to? When are people wanting to come down?
A lot of people are. I think a lot of people are just ready to get out and spread their wings and exercise their freedoms and travel again. So I have had people who have been like, I want to come down this month. And we're like, we can't really do that right now.
Yeah.
We would love to have you.
That's good to hear.
And there are a lot of people are looking at July. Obviously, a lot of people have their eye on July, August. I have a ton of honeymooners for like October, September timeframe. Yeah. And Christmas, because obviously this year, by now, usually most years we'd be full for Christmas. Yeah. But right now there's actually some space over Christmas, which is good news, and just a beautiful time to visit too. Yeah. So hopefully flight prices will be.
That's the next one, right? You talk about Delta. I know United, JetBlue, Spirit, American. I'm hearing lots of routes coming back as soon as the borders open.
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see what those flight prices are. Hopefully, like we are all hoping, they are initially low to start.
Well, and you don't know, because if they're gonna remove the middle seat.
I know, but also at the same time, I think the airlines want people to travel, and you don't want to scare them away. Yeah. Especially when some people might be a little preoccupied, initially, when others want to get out there. Yep. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And generally, what's your prediction for the outlook of travel in Costa Rica and in general from your experience in the travel industry?
Yeah, I think that Costa Rica was really spared the brunt of what could have happened with COVID. I know that some other big tourist destinations are really suffering. Like the situation in Italy, and so I think that a lot of people who had plans to go on cruises or to go to Europe or to go to Asia, I think they're all going to start looking for something that is a bit closer to home. Yeah. And somewhere that has a lot of green space, that people aren't living right on top of one another. Sure. These super crowded resorts and things. I don't think that's going to be what people are looking for in the future. And I think Costa Rica is a great destination for people who typically cruise, just because it's still warm. And you can kind of do like a land cruise here, right? Like you can go from one place to the next.
That's a really good point, yeah.
Whereas typically on your cruise, you get off the boat, you do your tours, you get back on the boat. Well, and here, you spend a few nights in San Jose, then you go up to the volcano, do some activities there. Yeah. Go out to the beach, do some activities there. So I think that people will really enjoy that, and it's so close. It's just a few hours, in between down here.
That's a really good point. Especially what you say about the cruises. I don't think for a while maybe people might hold off from being isolated.
Yeah, unfortunately,
like resorts, like you say. So it encourages maybe boutique hotels, smaller places, open spaces,
getting out into the wilderness, social distancing.
Yeah,
I think vacation rentals and villas are probably going to be a lot more popular than the resort scene for a while.
Good shout.
I don't know what's going to happen. You know, the buffet breakfast, like,
Yeah.
I don't know if
I've been
that's going to be
hearing
a thing
that
anymore.
many boutique hotels that are preparing here, everything is a la carte.
Yeah.
Which makes you even fresher food.
I love the buffet breakfast.
Yeah, I know. Don't get me wrong. That's true. When you're out and about, you can just pile the guy up into the eggs and the bacon.
Get your fill for the day.
Maybe you can get a la carte twice. You can just ask, hey, I'm still hungry. Well, that's really optimistic. I think there's some really interesting insights about what people might be interested in.
That's what I think.
Well, as soon as they come down. Hey, time will tell. And in terms of boutique hotels, we have a section which is Deal of the Day. So I'm speaking to Anastasia, travel consultant. What kind of amazing deals is Costa Rican Vacations offering if I was to get in touch with you now?
So it depends on when you travel. We've got some pretty sweet rates with a lot of hotels. And so we've got things like free nights. We can do up to 10% off.
Up to 10% off. That's cool.
It can be a hefty discount.
Yeah,
you know, obviously depending on what you're spending. But even if you just got a smaller package, you know, that covers a couple meals here and there with that discount. So we've got that, and things for next year, like we have referral discounts. We have, like I said, we still have space for Christmas. So there's a lot of little specials going on.
Awesome.
And trying to get a discount at Christmas used to be like,
never going to happen.
So this year,
if ever there was a time to travel, this would be the one. Yeah.
Corona madness.
And what do people do to get that discount? They get in touch with you.
Just get in touch. Just ask, hey, you know, I'm interested in some special offers. What do you guys have? You can get a really nice package at a decent discount right now. Fantastic. Plus, we still have options like usually the lower pricing properties that are really nice. They go the fastest, right? They're usually full. But right now, some of them have space for even high season kind of dates. So, yeah, it's a good time to plan and get in on some deals.
Awesome. We've got a couple more questions coming in, a few more people watching. Jim Proctor. Jim, how's it going? Fernando's watching. We've got Kevin Madrigal Montes. Hello to Aidan and Rudy. Hey. And your mum, I believe, Tamara, is watching.
Hi,
Should give a shout out to your mum. Oh, and Pamela. Pamela's just joined us from Hermosa as well. I hope it's going well up north, Pamela. Okay, guys, don't forget, we're going to answer your questions shortly. Before we do, I always like to ask every guest the top 3. Now, when that could be tours, that could be hotels, national parks.
Okay.
With your situation as a relatively new mum with a young 9-month-old, tell me your top 3 destinations with an infant or infants.
That's a good question.
Right?
Yeah. So I'll start with a little anecdote.
Okay. I like it.
So when Leo was just 2 months old, we took him up to La Fortuna, and we put him in the pack and took him all over the place. And we went to the Fortuna waterfall, which is like a lot of stairs.
Yeah, it's a lot of stairs.
And we took him to the Rio Celeste waterfall.
Oh, nice.
So he's had some experience out there. Now that he's a little bigger, a little heavier, I don't know if we would do that.
It's a good walk.
Do that again right now. That is a pretty serious
And the La Fortuna area is the Arenal volcano.
Yes, the Arenal volcano area. I do think that is a cool place to go with infants, just because there's so much to do in a small area, like hanging bridges tours, like going to the waterfalls. And just seeing wildlife. I guess it depends on what hotel you stay at, too, because some places are going to have more. But, okay, so let me give you my top 3.
Okay.
Top 3 would be the Peace Lodge.
Okay.
I think that would be an awesome place to take him.
Really colourful. It's right here, just outside San Jose.
It's just outside San Jose. It's like kind of on the way up to Arenal volcano, and they have so much. It's like all of Costa Rica kind of condensed into one little area. They have like a monkey house. They have amazing waterfalls. You can see frogs.
Yeah, you can see frogs.
You can see, they have an aviary with all sorts of birds, and let's see what else. They have butterflies. Just
it's very
jungle
colourful.
Cats. Like they have so many things.
Yeah, your young ones would look up and
I think would be very stimulating for him. Yeah, I think that he would really enjoy that. Number 2 would probably be Memo Antonio.
Okay.
I think that it's just so special.
Yeah.
It's so special. And if I had my choice of where I would stay, I would say Arenas del Mar.
Arenas del Mar, very nice. Beautiful
just because
views.
It's got you're right there at the beach. There's a pool kind of right there at the beach. You have beach service, you have loads of wildlife, like monkeys playing around on your balcony. You can see sloths and things.
Nice.
And there are a lot of restaurants in close distance,
Yeah,
so
sure.
it's easy to get out and kind of enjoy there. And the beach isn't rough.
Yeah.
Right? So he can be kind of in the sand and playing around. And my
number three?
Number three, I think that probably Santa Teresa.
Santa Teresa?
Nicoya,
okay.
Nicoya. Taking him on the ferry. I'm really excited. We do have a trip to go out there. And I think that it's going to be a great place for him because it's just kind of that cool, laid back beach vibe. Beautiful beachfront properties around there.
Yeah.
And just, again, loads of restaurants. It doesn't feel commercialized at all. So it feels very authentic Costa Rica.
Yeah.
It's kind of an adventure to get there because it's off the beaten path. And that we just have that really close beach access, great pools, and lots of restaurants around. I think that would be a nice spot to bring.
So Peace Lodge for the colourful wildlife, the Central Valley. Manuel Antonio, amazing wildlife, beautiful beaches, classic 3 hours away driving from San Jose.
Yeah.
And then Santa Teresa, if you want to experience a more chilled out vibe, you cross the ferry to get here from San Jose, which is beautiful. Fantastic. Well, thank you for those top three. You can check all of those on our YouTube channel, our Facebook page. We have videos, and always go on the website as well, Costa Rican Vacations, vacationscostarica.com. So let's get to some questions.
Sure.
We've got a couple of questions coming in. I mentioned earlier Daniel M. Solinsky from Facebook. He's actually asked a couple of questions, and they're both quite good. Firstly, will Americans be allowed to travel to Costa Rica this summer? So, it's difficult to answer, but...
Right, it is difficult to answer. I would assume that by the end of summer, hopefully, things will be picking up.
Yeah.
We're all under the assumption that July 1st is going to be the date that things open up at the airport, that you can start coming into the country.
Exactly. And that's open to obviously all international guests with a passport.
Right, yeah. And I think that July and August, just as an extra little tidbit, are really beautiful months to be here too.
August is a lovely month to travel to Costa Rica.
Beautiful weather. Everything's green because of the rain in May and June, and so I'm hopeful that that you will be able to come into Costa Rica by the end of summer.
Daniel, if you have a passport that's in date and the borders are open here and the flights are coming in,
that's a big consideration, though. Passports are taking a very long time to get, so make sure you've got your passport.
Double check that. And the other question was, will travellers from the US be required to get tested upon arrival or in advance? Or will no testing be required on entry? Quarantine upon arrival, as we discussed?
Yeah, so all of those questions are still very much up in the air.
Yeah.
I do know that they are implementing this app that you do have to enter in your information about where you've traveled.
Right.
Yeah, it's really just, I don't know what kinds of questions they're going to ask. I am very curious myself to see what they're looking for. But I think that it's unrealistic to tell people to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Of course,
most people are here for just a week.
Yeah, or vacationing for 2 weeks, and that's your whole vacation. People realise that.
But they might open it up and just sort of see how it goes, and then who knows? They could put up another restriction. Anything's possible at this point.
Yeah.
I think this has gone much further than everyone expected it to go already. But I think that they will be allowed in, and I don't know if they'll be testing at the airport, because by that time you've already been on the plane.
My understanding is, I think it's also most international destinations, when you leave, you'll have all your health checked, your temperature checked.
Your temperature,
right at the point of the departure. Mm-hmm. You probably wouldn't be allowed on the plane if you had a really high fever or you had some kind of symptoms. I think Costa Rica in the next couple of weeks will give us a better idea about travel measures that are going to be implemented based on other countries as well that are around Europe. There's lots of New Zealand as well, so it's doing very well. So contact tracing and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that helps you out, Daniel. Your mum's actually got in touch. I'm not entirely sure about this question. I don't understand. Maybe you can answer. She said she asks Tamara, should families bring their own life jackets for kids?
For the ferry, I guess, or what?
Oh,
is she the ferry? We should say you're going from San Jose, and you have a little drive around an hour and a half to Punta Arenas, the city. You get on a ferry of about an hour to cross to this Gulf region.
Yeah,
it's a nice ferry.
Across the Gulf. It is a nice ferry, and I don't think that they require life jackets on that ferry.
You're okay. And I don't think you need life jackets on the plane.
But you're welcome to bring one down, Mom.
Yeah.
Bring it on down. We don't have one. We could use one.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for those questions, guys. I have a couple more coming in. If we can get to them, we will at the end. So this is a segment I like to do. I like to go digging in your Instagram or your Facebook page and look for some pictures. And I found these. Obviously, you have a really big travel presence because you've been here for a very long time. This is a picture we've actually used in relative marketing quite a lot, but perhaps you could explain to the audience what is going on. Let me just show you here. Pablo is going to get this up on the audience. This is a picture you might remember. So that big jump, you look like you're jumping somewhere very high as people watch you. Are you going first? Where are you and what are you doing?
Okay, so yes, this is up in the La Fortuna area, up by Arenal Volcano. This is a tour with Desafio Adventure Companies.
Okay. Shout out to Desafio.
Yes. This is an awesome tour. This is called Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls.
Yes.
Okay.
And
that's pretty much what's happening here.
Yeah. You jump off of like cliff sides and you do a big rappel. The first jump is like rappelling down a huge rock face into a waterfall. And then the guides make this tour extra special. They're flipping all over the place.
Right.
It is so cool. They're just little acrobats.
And how high are you jumping in this shot?
Oh, maybe 10 or 15 feet.
Okay, so 10 or 15 feet. If I show you the next shot, this is the shot coming down. So maybe that gives you an idea.
Yes.
And you're jumping into lovely, like deep streams, right? Deep.
This one's actually a pretty technical jump because there's this is a smaller pool that you're jumping into here. So they were very much like feet first here. Like,
so this is very much an adventure tour.
This is a more adventurous tour. The highest jump from this one is like 35 feet.
Okay, it's pretty high.
Yeah.
Okay, it's pretty cool.
It was.
If you're interested in, jumping down waterfalls controlled.
Actually, let me think. So it was 13 meters. So yeah, it's almost.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Almost 40.
Almost 40 feet.
Yeah, it was intense. That was a cool jump. I only did it once.
Okay.
I didn't want to do it.
And it's worth pointing out, if you do go up to the Arenal, La Fortuna area, Desafio have an amazing array of tours for all ages, all types, adventure, relaxation.
Best guides.
We've got it. Mm-hmm. Anastasia, it's been great to talk to you. Before I leave you, as ever, tasty Tico treats.
Okay.
This is our section where, the last couple of weeks we've tried different alcohol. We've tried the breakfast. We've done sour cream versus Costa Rican fruit versus natilla, versus fruit. Last week with Justin. Obviously, Costa Rica is very well known, guys, for coffee. So I'm going to bring you, we've got a bunch to show you. And I know, obviously, I'm from the UK, so I do drink a lot of tea, but once in a while, I like a good coffee myself. I know you love your coffee, black. Mm-hmm. Firstly, what is it about Costa Rica coffee that's so good over maybe what you guys in the States have, and you're like, oh, this is terrible. Like, why is it so good here?
So I used to drink Folgers. I'll start with that. Folgers,
okay.
Very common in the States.
Okay.
My parents used to drink it too, but since I moved here, I don't think they've purchased Folgers because every time they come down, they get like kilos of Costa Rican coffee.
Okay.
But I think it just tastes like real coffee, whereas Folgers has kind of this processed.
Okay, you can taste it.
Tastes a little like, I hope this is coffee kind of thing.
I remember that as like the Nescafe instant coffee.
It just tastes. I hate to use the word chemical, but it almost has like a chemical, like it's very refined kind of taste. Whereas here, I think the coffee can have fruity or nutty undertones, chocolate undertones. I think it has to do with the soil probably, and just a lot of it. They don't use nearly the amount of chemicals on things. And you can go to so many hotels, some which have coffee plantations. Right. One of our favorite ones, Finca Rosa Blanca, has some of my favorite coffee in the country. Yeah. But also it's like a wine tasting session. Where you actually do a coffee tasting. Mm-hmm. So we're not going to do a whole coffee tasting session because that would be very boring and that would suck for you guys who can't smell the delicious aromas. But I'm going to show you, if you go to a supermarket here, we're going to go in order from 1 to 4 of the type of coffee. So right at the low end, this is called Cafe Ray. So this is maybe $3.50, $4. Yeah, it's pretty cheap, yeah. So, Costa Ricans, it's not bad, right? But it's not great. It's not bad. Costa Rica's Cafe 1820. Yeah. This is quite popular here, isn't it? It is popular. That's one of my favorites. And they actually have a special reserve. Uh-huh. Which is really good. I think I saw that bag. Okay, yeah. What's the difference? This is about $4 or $5 for a bag like this? And that's probably $6. And that's about $6, so not that much more. Not that much more. Very tasty. And then following this, if you come to Costa Rica, you'll probably see the Brit brand everywhere, all over the country. And we have some dark roast here in the green bag. This is the
export. So this is the kind of some of the really good stuff. This is Arabica coffee. And tell us a bit about Cafe Brit. Not that they need much advertising.
I'll take some slack for this.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan
Not
of
the biggest fan? Okay, so
no,
why is that?
I think it tastes kind of charred, like kind of has a smokier flavor than what I like.
Interesting, okay.
It's kind of similar to like Starbucks coffee.
Right.
It's strong, it's dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I like my coffee a little bit.
That's a good point. And to be fair, most hotels offer this, and you can
Right.
find obviously this brand, other types of brands at the airport. It's everywhere. They do have some different types. It's interesting flavour, but that's an interesting. And then what have you
It
got
is
in your
organic
hands?
though, and the
And
way
you
that
can
they
get organic.
the way that they make it is impressive.
Okay, and you can probably learn about that in many
Yeah.
places, right? And then what do you have here?
And so this is what Tres Generaciones.
This is one of the nicest ones.
This is a good one. Is this what we're drinking?
Yeah, this is what we're drinking. So this comes back
That's
to it.
darn good coffee. That's
Yeah.
tasty. Yeah.
Pablo's actually, one of his family members is associated with this brand. He's actually kindly brought it in for us. And you can find these coffee fields just outside the San Jose area towards the Paras volcano. Tres Generaciones means 3 generations of family. So it's been here for over 100 years in production. It's really good, and you can go on a tour to these places. Yeah. And now Pablo, how much does a bag like this cost, more or less?
Like, that's a kilo, I think, and that's like $15.
$15, yeah, that's a kilo, 2.2 pounds. And that's the beans. So if you can
Right,
buy
yeah.
it before and crush it at home, it would be even fresher. So yeah, it's always good if you're in the Central Valley or in San Jose, do a coffee tour at some of these plantations for some of the best Costa Rican coffee. And before we leave you, this is how they make it in Costa Rica. So this is one of your typical chorreados. Is that how you say it?
Chorreadora.
Chorreadora.
Chorreador or chorreadores.
Chorreador. So it's a very, very simple thing. You got a device like this, piece of wood, and you put a coffee sock, basically. This is called a sock. Simple piece of cotton material.
Put your coffee in.
Put your coffee in.
Hot water.
Let it
It's
drain
the best
down.
coffee.
Super simple. No electricity. You know, there's loads of different methods. And when you do coffee tasting, you can do a bunch of
The
different
flavor
ways.
is spectacular.
Flavor is amazing, right?
Yeah.
The flavor's great. And you can see it going, and you just kind of pour it straight out the mug. So when you're down here next time, check out the Chorreador.
Hey guys, there is one last question there.
Okay.
I think it's worth to answer. Yesenia Garcia is asking.
Who's asking, sorry?
Yesenia Garcia.
Jasenia Garcia, you have a question? Okay,
It
what's
says,
that?
should I postpone to late July or August? I read on Costa Rica U.S. Embassy site that a 14 days self-quarantine is possible, but I think
So,
you already answered that.
Just in case you couldn't hear, Pablo, Jasenia is asking, should you delay to late July, early August because of the current 14-day quarantine? Does it say, Pablo, when Jasenia was traveling?
No, it
Not
doesn't
sure.
say. It doesn't say.
So what do you think? Emma?
Okay, so in this case, I would say if you've got the flexibility, push it to August just to be safe. Hopefully things will be opened up in July, but
Yeah.
August is a beautiful month. Can't stress that enough. Beautiful time. But remain flexible. Who knows what's going to happen. If in the coming weeks they say, oh, no, you can't come in during August, just be prepared to move it if you need to.
Yeah.
But I would say, keep the faith and try for August.
Yeah, I would
It's
say,
a great
what
time.
like Anastasia says, watch this space. Because, the
Yeah.
news is still changing daily. We're optimistic about July, and I don't think there's going to be a 2-week quarantine for
Yeah, no, I don't
travellers
think
that are
that's
coming on a 1-week
realistic.
vacation.
Right.
Let's be honest. Anastasia, thank you very much for coming in and chatting
Thank
to
you
us.
for having me.
Guys,
Thanks,
as ever, please follow Anastasia on Facebook, online, on Instagram. She can help you out with a great vacation. We hope to see you soon. As ever, I've been Adam Baker.
Anastasia McCulloch.
We'll see you next time. Hasta la próxima.